Look at your hand for a moment. No, not the palm, the rectangle glowing in your fingers. How many times today have you reached for that phone? An awkward silence, a cue that moves too slowly, a thought you don't like. Tap. Scroll. We live in an era that worships painless speed, one-click food, autoplay laughter, next-day shipping for any craving. Yet surveys across the globe record record-high loneliness, anxiety, and a paralyzing sense that life lacks substance. The more faithfully we flee pain, the emptier we feel when the screen finally fades to black. Tonight we invite a guide who endured a darkness most of us cannot imagine, a man who lost everything except the conviction that suffering, rightly faced, can forge an unbreakable meaning. His name is Viktor Frankl, and he claimed that pain is not the enemy of life's purpose. Escaping pain is. If you've ever wondered why comfort still leaves a hole, stay with me. Viktor Frankl was a young Viennese neurologist when the Nazis tore Europe apart. In 1942, he, his pregnant wife, and his parents were transported to Theresienstadt, then to Auschwitz, then to Dachau. Within months, his entire family was dead. He survived 3 years of starvation, disease, and beatings. He was prisoner number 119,104. Even his name became unnecessary. Frankl called those camps his dark laboratory. There, stripped of freedom and safety, he asked one haunting question: why do some people remain inwardly alive while others collapse? Observing fellow inmates, he noticed that hope made the decisive difference, not health, talent, or luck. The moment a prisoner felt his suffering was meaningless, he was finished. His immune system surrendered, and his gaze turned to ash. Frankl concluded that a powerful why can keep the frailest body alive, whereas the absence of why dissolves the strongest. Years later, he distilled this insight into a new branch of psychotherapy, logotherapy, the therapy of meaning. Frankl's pivotal sentence echoes through dorm rooms and corporate retreats alike. Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. Let's pause on that. The how is circumstance. Rent, illness, betrayals, global plague, a car that refuses to start on Monday morning. The why is your chosen purpose, something or someone so valuable that hardship becomes a price tag rather than a curse. We moderns flip the formula. We upgrade the how, better Wi-Fi, ergonomic chairs, hoping comfort will spontaneously hand us a why. But comfort is a lousy salesperson. It whispers ease, never meaning. Frankl discovered that the moment your why ignites, suffering doesn't vanish, but it changes color. Pain stops being a wall and becomes a set of stairs. Every blister becomes a receipt that proves you're paying for something worthy. Without meaning, even a paper cut can spiral into existential dread. With meaning, a broken body can stand taller than a tower. Frankl identified 3 doors to meaning. Door 1, work and creation. When a sculptor chisels marble, the hammer hits stone and soul. The task does not need to be famous. A prisoner who straightened the camp's tangled shoestrings with silent pride discovered purpose in orderliness. The coder who refactors messy legacy code at 2 a.m. can feel the same spark. Frankl writes, "What you give the world, even in miniature, shouts that you existed." In our screen-saturated age, we often consume far more than we create. Consumption feels painless, but emptiness grows beneath its sugar. To exit that spiral, pick one small act of making. Cook a meal from raw ingredients, build a shelf, draft a page of a story. The mind whispers, but it's trivial. Ignore it. Meaning doesn't measure by applause, it measures by intentional imprint. Every deliberate creation carves your initials on time's doorway and whispers, "I was here, and I contributed." Door 2, love, seeing another human fully and letting them see you. In Auschwitz, Frankl stood shivering for roll call, lips cracking in -10 degrees. He suddenly pictured his wife's face, not knowing she was already dead. He felt a surge of warmth so vivid that the guards, the snow, even his hunger receded. He later wrote, "Love is the ultimate and the highest goal." Notice he didn't say romance or fireworks. Love may be the quiet patience of caring for an ill parent, or listening without a phone in your hand while a friend recounts a failure. Today we substitute connection with metrics. Followers, blue hearts, view counts. Numbers register presence but not personhood. Frankl would tell us, look into eyes,
not avatars. Your day cannot accommodate 10,000 genuine relationships, but it can hold one attentive conversation.
Meaning blooms in that gaze like a lamp in fog, and paradoxically strengthens you to endure solitude when it comes. Door 3 is the most paradoxical, finding dignity in unavoidable suffering. Some pain can be escaped. Switch jobs, leave the party, silence the troll. But illness, aging, and grief respect no exit button. Frankl noticed that prisoners who treated hardship as an assignment retained a spark in their eyes. They asked, how can I bear this with honor so that someone watching me, God, history, my own conscience will be inspired? That mental pivot transformed torture into testimony. In ordinary life, unavoidable suffering might be a chronic disease, an empty chair at the table, or a dream that time has sealed shut. The invitation is not to cheer for suffering, but to swerve from victim to witness, from why me to whom can this strengthen. This door terrifies comfort culture because it tells us that even if circumstances never improve, our stance can. And stance, the posture of the soul, turns raw pain into fuel. Let's translate Frankl's camp observations into 2025. Our society offers endless micro-escapes, dopamine scroll wheels, algorithmic playlists that detect your mood before you do, grocery delivery that spares you the boredom of aisles. Each tool is neutral, yet the cumulative effect breeds an allergic response to discomfort. A 2024 study found the average person taps their phone 2,617 times per day. That's 2,617 tiny votes for escaping the present moment. Ironically, the more we medicate mild unease, the less resilient we become when real tragedy strikes. Comfort conditioning shrinks our pain tolerance until any friction, traffic, criticism, waiting rooms, feels catastrophic. Frankl's life screams the opposite lesson. Micro-exposures to discomfort can inoculate us against existential collapse. So when the supermarket queue snakes into infinity, maybe leave the phone pocketed and watch your breathing. You're building pain muscle, rep by rep. Why does chronic escape lead to depression? Frankl would point to the vacuum, a psychological emptiness created when life contains stimulation but lacks significance. The more intensely we chase pleasant sensations, the more glaringly the gap appears between distraction and direction. That gap feels like despair. Think of a bucket with a hole. Sugary pleasures pour in, but purpose leaks out faster. Fill the bucket with meaning and the same pleasures become garnish rather than anesthesia. Clinical evidence supports Frankl. Studies at Harvard's Human Flourishing program show that purpose correlates with lower anxiety and longer lifespan, regardless of income or weather. Pain avoidance alone predicts nothing but fragility. The takeaway, treat pleasure as seasoning, not staple. Build the meal from meaning. How do we pivot from escape to meaning? Frankl offers a 3-step reframe. Step 1, name the unavoidable pain. Be precise. Loneliness at night, chemotherapy fatigue, startup rejection emails. Vague dread cannot be transformed. Only specific suffering can. Step 2, ask the meaning question. What future good could this pain empower? Maybe your hospital stay will later help you mentor another patient. Maybe your heartbreak will deepen your songwriting. Step 3, act into that meaning with micro behaviors. Draft 1 encouraging letter to a current patient. Write the first verse of the song. The action cements the reframe. Without action, meaning remains hypothetical. Neuroscientists note that purpose-linked behavior releases dopamine in a steadier, healthier trickle than addictive scroll bursts. Purpose dopamine is sustainable because it reinvests in itself. Consider Clara, a 40-year-old mother of 2 who lost her left leg to cancer. During rehab, she spiraled into despair, doom-scrolling triathlons she could never run. A therapist handed her Man's Search for Meaning. Clara circled Frankl's line. Suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. She decided her meaning was to model resilience for her kids and other amputees. Step by step, she learned to run with a blade prosthesis. 3 years later, she finished a half marathon. Pain remained. She still applies ice at night, but each throb reminds her of the story she's engraving into her children's memory. Mom, never quit. The discomfort is payment she has chosen to make. Notice, Purpose didn't erase pain, it transmuted it. That's alchemy Frankl would salute. Pause this video and jot a quick note. What discomfort do I reflexively escape? Maybe it's the silence between songs, the burn of cardio after 90 seconds, or the stinging phone call you keep postponing. Choose one such discomfort as your Frankl exercise for the next 7 days. Rule A, don't flee when it appears. Rule B, instead, ask, whom or what could this strengthen? Rule C, take one small action aligned with that answer. Post your plan in the comments so we can create a public ledger of commitments, micro-meaning forged in community. Frankl wrote that meaning is discovered, not invented, and discovery often happens in dialogue. Your comment could spark someone else's why. A caution, Frankl never glorified unnecessary suffering. If you can leave an abusive workplace, leave. If a doctor can numb the drill, say yes to anesthesia. Meaning is not masochism. It is stewardship of unavoidable pain, not collection of avoidable misery. Social media sometimes romanticizes grind culture, bleeding knuckles, sleepless hustle. Frankl would call that vanity, not vocation. Ask yourself, am I enduring this pain because it is unavoidable or because it flatters my ego? The distinction is the compass between martyrdom and maturity. Mature meaning embraces pain only when pain is the toll booth to a larger good. Martyr meaning clings to pain because pain itself grants identity. Choose maturity. Frankl also prescribes humor as anesthesia for the soul. In the camps, he led a clandestine comedy evening where prisoners exchanged jokes about their guards. Laughter did not free them, but it loosened the noose of dread for an hour, renewing will to endure. Today, comedic memes can play the same part if they are tethered to mission rather than escape. Laugh to refuel courage, not to forget indefinitely. A rule of thumb, humor that energizes you to act afterward is healthy. Humor that leaves you scrolling further is sedation. Frankl's nights of joke-telling ended with prayer and preparation for the next day's quarry labor. Our memes should end with similar readiness. Frankl indirectly redefines success. Our culture calculates success in peaks reached, followers, money, physique. Frankl measures success by the depth of meaning embraced. A cancer patient who uplifts one ward mate may outshine the billionaire who dies bored. He wrote, "Success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue as the unintended side effect of one's dedication to a cause greater than oneself." Translate, focus on the cause, not the trophy. Pain is proof you're hauling bricks for that cause. The trophy may still come. Book deal, healed family. But if it doesn't, your days were still coherent. Coherence outlasts applause. We began with a phone in the hand, tiny refuge from discomfort. Let that phone now serve as a compass. Each vibration asks, will you numb or will you notice? Viktor Frankl stands silently in history's long corridor, offering you a key forged in hellfire. Pain, pause, purpose. Not all at once, not perfectly. Just the next unavoidable ache turned 1 degree toward meaning. Tomorrow your coffee burns your tongue. Pause, smile, and join the long lineage of humans who accepted small hurt for warm mornings. One day a larger grief knocks. Pause again and remember the 3 doors: creation, love, dignity. Purpose is not distant. It hides inside the pain you would rather skip. Stop escaping. Turn. Face it. And watch your life ignite with an unbreakable why.